Hey guys, this is just a quick vid on ZB and ES and about how extensions work in general. So if you don't use fib levels to trade, if you're not interested in technical fib setups, then this won't interest you. But I learned to trade by using fib setups, and uh, learning how extensions work was a revelation to me. And I'm still learning how they work, and I think I've learned something new in what the support on ES is. I made a video asking on the ES weekly log scale chart where was the extension, and I think I found it. And it comes from parsing this ZB chart. So the quick update on ZB is, someone asked me like, why on earth would you be shorting bonds when they haven't even gotten a daily close below the 8-day EMA as shown here? I mean, they couldn't really get the job done today, although we've broken down out of the channel finally, and we came up and back tested it. We back tested both. This channel had a stealth support line that developed with these underthrows, and we came back and we back tested the stealth support of the channel and this weekly channel, which is this big bluish area here. But we still have not broken trend. I was wondering, well, let me think. What's the best way to explain this? So let's just go to the hour chart. We've been going up in a series of extensions, this uptrend here. And it looks something like, where's that photo at? It looks something like this, right? There was a wind up, a nest, a bull nest of ones and twos, and then we've unloaded in this series of threes and fours. And then, the large degree fourth wave, I think, was in this gray box here. And then the fifth wave, the sequence sort of regenerated, and we went 1 2 1 2, and I think this was a 3 and another 4 and another 3 and another 4. And so the way that sequence went, the first extension here was high and tight. That caught a lot of people wrong-footed, that CPI rip, a 38.2 retracement of the extension. An extension is technically what it is, a fib extension. Most people would just call this a bull flag. A bull flag and an extension are the same thing, a high and tight consolidation. So we traded that highs to highs extension once. Then we used this anchor to trade the same anchor once to target and twice to target. And then on the smaller time frame, this fifth wave, I think it's a fifth wave at least, starts off with a 1 2 1 2, which again goes in a 3 4 3, and maybe this was the 4 here, and maybe this was the 5 right here, that very divergent high. It's also possible that that was a B wave high and this wave down is a C wave, and they're going to rip it up again. So I'm going to talk about what the anchor for this, this fifth wave, what the extensions might be. You know, Previously I wasn't really attentive to this 1 2 1 2 nest right there at the beginning of this presumed fifth wave. So I was thinking that that might be the top right here, and I was talking about how, if we broke this highs to highs extension, the trend would be over, but that's not correct because we came down in another fourth wave and yet another highs to highs extension. So to really call the trend broken, we would have to break, if we assume the anchor is right in here, we would have to break this extension at 12928, more or less. We would have to get through that for the trend for this latest extension in the series to be truly broken. So shorting up here, you're kind of anticipating the break-in trend before it actually happens. And so the first thing I noticed about where did that go? About this is, I'm used to thinking of an extension as being anchored on the top of a wave 1, and it's a 1 to 4 relationship, right? It's the ones and twos that are doing the 50% retracements, the 618 or deeper retracements, and then the wave 3s rip, and so the wave 4 trades as a highs to highs extension. That's sort of the marriage of Elliott wave and these fib setups. But what you see here is that stacked up on the left side of the channel are these wave 3s, and those are being the anchors for subsequent extensions, which means that it's not always true that the anchor for an extension is the top of a wave 1. It can be a wave 3 at not just 1 degree of lesser trend, but this anchor traded twice. So this was a white wave 4 to the green 3, which is separated by 2 degrees of trend. So there doesn't seem to be a tight relationship between the extension and the degree of the wave trading off of it, which is a little confusing, right? But the thing that I'm wondering about, I definitely know that extensions can trade off of wave 3 tops stacked on the left side of the channel. And what I'm kind of wondering about is whether the anchor for these extensions up here is the tops of these 1s and 2s, or is it over here, this third wave on the left side of the channel? They're about equal. I mean, they're all coming in around 12628. But what that would look like would be this anchor trades to target once and twice, and then this anchor right here trades to target once, and then this one has not hit the target yet, but that is the extension that would be holding us up here, which is really a weird way to think about it, because you can argue absolutely that the extension is actually anchored in here, right? Which makes probably more sense that this one, it's a wave 1 to 4 relationship here, and then the outer wave 1 to 4 relationship there. But regardless, I mean, I'm going to look for other examples of that, because that would be so simple and elegant if the anchor for the extension just walked up the pivots on the left side of the channel. That's like discovering string theory or something. It's so simple and elegant. But the reason this is relevant, if I talked about everything here, yeah, I mean, we're out of the channel on ZB, and we've back tested it, so we just need to see if we get continuation. But how this relates to ES is, anchors can come off of the third wave over here on the left side of the channel. And so I have talked, where did my chart go? Here's the weekly log scale ES chart, right? This green channel is the bull market since 2009. And I've talked a lot about how, really the market's best hope for continuation at this point was in this fifth wave, what I think is a fifth wave, going up in extensions like we did in 87 and 2000, the run-ups. And I was drawing the anchor from here to high, and note we're on a log scale chart, and these are log scale fib levels. This is a feature that Thinkorswim does not have. And this was aggressive. This was a high and tight extension, and looking at it at log scale, the 50 really didn't have much of a reaction. It didn't put up much of a fight, and that was broken. And so I think that the anchor is here. I think this is the top of the third wave, and these are intervening B wave corrective highs that are ignored. That's the anchor. And I've gone back and forth on this, and some people will buy it and other people will not. But here's the evidence, at least one example right here. And when I draw this 618 line is at 3502, and the low here was to the tick 3502.00. That is the ES support level, right? So this extension is alive, I think, and has not been broken yet. And this doesn't make me suddenly uber bullish, but it does put a new sort of twist on how I'm looking at any, I don't know. That's just not a coincidence that 3502.00 was this low right here. And so all the other traders are using linear scale charts, and they're drawing this full retracement at linear scale. And at log scale, that's only a 38.2 retracement, which, I mean, you could argue that also caused the reaction. The 38.2 log, the 50 linear in the median of this long-term channel. But I would argue that it's the median of the channel and this highs to highs extension. That's really what's happening. The linear 50% retracement doesn't matter. So this is what is propping up the market right now, I think. And so I'm going to what am I trying to say here? Or where am I going? Yeah, so if we just look at this fifth wave in isolation, so, I made the mistake of thinking that this was a simple wave 5, that this was just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's not. And so there's down here a 1, 2, 1, 2. And you can't argue that this is the anchor for that extension, ignoring that B wave high, which works. It's the inner wave 1 to the first wave 4, and then you can argue that the top of this wave 1, the outer one, is the anchor for that extension, which also works to the tick right there. So this is just something I'm going to be aware of and looking at moving forward, is extensions in their relation to pivots on the left side of the channel to price action on the right side of the channel. I think that's everything I wanted to say. All right, thanks guys.